We have Cheryl here.
And Scott with Oakwater Outdoors.
Again, it's spring in Texas. Everything is green, so we thought we'd shoot some videos out here so you could get the wonderful backdrop that we get to see every single day. On this set, we're going to talk about the RVs sites that we stayed at, what our future plans are, and what we think makes an RV site, resort versus park versus, not that we know anything, but it's what some of our qualifiers are that we search for when we go before our trips. So what do you think makes a resort versus park?
Newer, very clean, the amenities, having a nice pool. Granted, sometimes in Texas you can't always utilize the pool in the middle of the winter, but having a pool accessible and available on those warmer days. Clean restrooms and shower facilities.
That very fresh smell when
Yes.
you walk into, they call it, the clubhouse, laundry or bath facilities. You just, get that sense of, that smell makes it a difference. And it's not an issue about long-term campers because there's a lot of full-timers out there. What we get bothers us is when an RV park does not police, if you will, the sites. They allow storage underneath outside, and it just keeps growing and growing. Bicycles laying in the grass. One of the parks we're going to mention later had monster truck tires stacked up next to their RV and totes, and it's like, that's not what was pictured when I did my searching. We just like the amenities. We really do. It's about the comfort and the enjoyment of going and seeing other cities and towns and this, this great country. But what we see while we're hanging out in the camper needs to be pretty nice too.
A little bit, yeah. Luxurious camping.
Yeah. So so far this year, we've stayed at 3 places. Around February, it was called Big Al's Barefoot Bay RV Resort at Bob Sandlin Lake. Then we went on down to Fredericksburg, but it was a longer drive, so we did an overnight stay in Belton, Texas at Gather RV Park. And then we moved on to Lantern Oaks Park in Fredericksburg. So, Big Al's.
Loved it.
Yeah.
We're going back again.
Some of the things we enjoyed about it was, again, it was a newer park. It's been there a long time, but sadly they had a tornado about 1.5 years or so ago, and it really tore the place up, but it gave them an opportunity to rebuild. So you got new concrete pads, new shower and bath facilities. It did have a lounge area, which was nice. Leather sofa, big screen TV. Cool thing is it's right on Bob Sandlin Lake.
They had a little area where you could go swimming. We didn't. It was too cold. But there are sites that are right on the water. But you can also walk along the water's edge and go fishing, which was nice.
Yeah, we were kind of, I think it was 55 is the number, maybe. I think I remember. Anyways, it was kind of in the middle of the park. So maybe it would take you 2 minutes to walk down to the water's edge if you want to fish or go in that swim area she mentioned.
Yeah. They did have a walking trail across the street because on one side of the street that is where the campground area is, the RV slots. And then across the street is where they have their office and they have a restaurant over there.
Castaways.
Restaurant bar.
Yeah, Castaways.
Little shop over there. And then over on that side they have a walking trail that you can walk and it takes you back to another section of the lake.
Yeah, where they have the boat storage or boat slips too. And you can, if you want to bring a boat, you can rent a slip for your time it was there. The thing that I really liked about it was that it is right on the water. As Cheryl mentioned, we're going back on July 4th. We'll get to, there's going to be some really cool things on the lake we'll get to. But they put in in process, they had it on their Facebook page, a big inflatable water slide and water deck out on the lake. So it was a very clean lake. So we're going to have any issues ourselves, we're going to go swim and play on that thing. What was the other thing you liked about the town?
There was a really good Italian restaurant there in Pittsburgh.
It was small, but it was a smaller restaurant, but it was really good food for this. We were very much surprised.
Yes, very surprised. We went in and decided just to do appetizers, and then we couldn't decide on which appetizer we wanted, so we ended up getting 2, and the appetizers were basically a full meal for us.
Yeah, I got the lobster ravioli. They were 6. And that was plenty of food for me because they were probably 3-inch by 3-inch.
Handmade.
Yes.
Completely from scratch. And then I had the charcuterie board, which was, again, very tasty. Lots of great choices on there. There was olives and olive oil and basil, and it was warmed. It was phenomenal.
Very, very tasty. The next trip we had was on our, going to Fredericksburg, and it's called Gather RV Park. This is one of those things where it's the idea of park versus resort, not too hard line, but once you got on to their website and to look at their photos and the reviews, they could easily call themselves a resort because they had those same amenities. It was newer. It smelled very clean, very friendly people. Huge pool.
They do have a lot of full-timers there.
But
for a long stay. But you could tell they have guidelines, and there was nothing laying out.
Nothing.
There weren't the totes underneath the camper and...
Right.
No,
or monster truck tires stacked up next to it. They had a shuffleboard in their lounge area along the leather sofa and big screen TV. When we're walking around was the kids area. They had
a huge kids playground area.
I
had the dog at the time, so I couldn't go in and walk around. Scott did. But a very fenced-in, nice area.
Yes, for kids. But they also had a fenced-in dog play area.
Yes.
So, we stayed there just overnight on our trip down, but we like Belton because there's a couple of really good breweries. So, and we had some good pizza there too. So we moved on down to Fredericksburg. It's been a long time since we've been to Fredericksburg, so we thought we'd go back.
We stayed at Lantern Oaks RV Resort, which is just across the street from the airport there.
Yeah. But it's a regional, so
yeah,
very few airplanes went over. So there was no issues with takeoffs, landings, nothing like that.
Mostly private planes. I think in the mornings there was like a small jet that would land and take off. Mm-hmm. And I want to say morning was probably 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
It wasn't
at 6 a.m.
It wasn't noisy or anything like that.
And the cool thing, though, is it's kind of up on a hill. And, yeah, the one of the main roads is between you and then there's the airport. But you got to face to the west. So you get some really beautiful sunsets. I mean, wide open. And you elevated, it was gorgeous.
And they had like seating areas so that you could sit there and watch the airplanes if you wanted to.
Yeah, that's true. They did have some benches a little bit further. I mean, we weren't far away. And, I mean, yeah, luckily, again, it seemed like they set the short-termers and overnighters closer to the building where the pool and the lodge was, because we were right next to this lodge and the pool. And, wasn't, a 30-second walk over to the benches.
And when he says lodge, it was nice.
It was nice.
They had a huge pool outside. They had an indoor area with a little shop. They had a bar area that you could, if you wanted to get together and have a, meal with some friends with lots. They had tables. They had shuffleboard.
Mm-hmm. They had their typical, merchandise, store. But very clean, very well kept, smelled very fresh. Yeah, the shuffleboard we played a couple times. Sadly, I can't get Get the feel down. Cheryl always wins.
I would say, speaking of just what makes a resort, they also do the curbside trash pickup there.
Yep. So we didn't get to use it, but they started putting out a food truck.
Yes.
I think it was barbecue, wasn't it? It smelled good.
I think it was they did breakfast burritos that last morning,
Yeah.
and then they were going to do barbecue for lunch.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. I mean, if you didn't feel, one of those, if you didn't feel like driving on into town, which everything was only like 2 miles away. Well, we hit some wineries too.
And a brewery. And
Oh
then-
yeah, fat ass. Literally, they had with the donkey.
Yeah. We did the Fat Ass Winery
Yes.
on a different day, and that one was better
Then the brewery.
than the brewery.
We're not big IPA peoples because a lot of them can be pretty bitter. Theirs were bitter. So we did a couple of state parks there.
Yes. We did the
Big Tunnel.
Big Tunnel, or Lost Tunnel?
Tunnel State Park. Basically, it was where they just, because of the railroad, they cut a tunnel into the side of the rocks or into the hill so that they didn't have to go around it.
And what they quickly discovered was the trains going through would shake it and the rocks would fall, and it was not safe.
Yeah.
So it wasn't used for very long.
No.
And so now it's the home to a whole bunch of bats.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
So we got to hike around there, and once you get down and you can look into the tunnel, you could see the bats even in the daytime. You could see
Yeah,
them
they were
when
still
flying.
moving. It wasn't a very big state park, and it was free, but it was in the woods. So went down, walked around in the woods, saw the tunnel. We did the Lyndon B. Johnson State Park and Federal Park. Not so impressed.
The Federal Park, which is his home, his property where he lived, we just got to drive around it. It was just a great big loop.
Yeah.
They had a replica airplane, or not a replica, an actual airplane, Air Force One,
Yeah, decommissioned.
decommissioned, but you couldn't see it because they were under construction.
Yes, building around his house, refurbishing it. So, but after that, we, just wandered around town quite a bit. So very relaxing trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then
I like Wimberley better than Fredericksburg, though.
That's true.
I have to say.
Yes,
Wimberley, the town, was just a lot more quaint. Fredericksburg, it seemed like the shops were,
much more commercial.
yes, and just expensive. And the food wasn't as good. At least
wasn't-
where we chose to eat wasn't.
Right. It didn't quite meet the expectations we had.
Yeah.
So then from there, we made our trek home, and we stayed at a park in Arlington. I'm not going to mention their name, but I did do a Google review. They called themselves a resort.
Not a resort.
They're the place where the RV next to us had his monster truck tires stacked.
There was, I think they did have a laundry room area, but there was no community shower, no shower facilities. There was no restroom facilities.
I mean, the positive thing was they had a very large
Yes.
green space. I mean, they were probably a few 2 to 3 acre green space where you can go play with your dog, and a couple larger ponds. Maybe call them a lake if you would.
Yeah, that part was pretty. Going
very
in,
pretty.
the entrance was pretty.
Very difficult to get into. The roads are not RV friendly. They do say, make sure you go this way. Don't use Google Maps because it will take you in a direction you don't want to go. Well,
And that part
we
of
did.
that was because there was construction there, but
Yeah,
even
the way
it
they
was-
told us to go, it's very difficult. So what we've got planned for rest of the year, and so I say rest of the year, it's only through July.
Yeah.
After we get our RV back from repair.
again.
Lake Texoma is not far from here, Sherman Denison, and it's April, so that means May. The fish should be hungry coming off spawn. So we hope to, in a few weeks, go striper fishing. Do it ourselves, self-guided kind of thing.
We always have a good time up there.
Yeah, it's a huge lake. It's fun. So haven't found the RV park where we're going to stay, but we'll let you know.
Yeah, I think one closer to the dam area, I think is what we were discussing last year.
Mm-hmm. That seems to be where the fish stay.
So rather than in the middle of the lake and spending a very long time taking a very long boat ride to try to get down to that area, it makes more sense to try to stay somewhere closer to where we fish.
We think the fish are going to be. So, our big summer trip is to New Orleans, and we're going to stay at the KOA Slidell, and there's a lot of parks around there, but the KOA and Slidell on the north side of the lake, Pontchartrain, it did seem to me the nicest, and it's very close to a state park. So since we like to hike and bike.
Going to spend a day in New Orleans, seeing some sights.
At least one day.
Yeah, and then we have a fishing trip planned.
Yes, and it's about an hour from where we're staying because it's down in the Bay area. So we're going to go after redfish and trout. So the one we picked, they have an old schoolhouse that converted to basically a hotel/restaurant, bed and breakfast maybe.
Yeah.
Because it's right on the water, so you can go get out on the boat. But all Cajun food, we're looking forward to that. So we get a couple of meals, a fishing trip.
I believe we get 3 meals because we should get like a snack when we get there the night before. We'll get there in the afternoon. We'll have a snack, dinner.
Then the next day.
And the next morning we go fishing. So they said we'll have breakfast, and then when we get back, while they're cleaning the fish and all that, we'll have a lunch.
Yeah. So we're going to be well fed, that's for sure. But yeah, we do that. Check out old school, the history of New Orleans. Try to check that kind of stuff out.
Our daughter's joining with us on that trip, so that'll be fun.
Yes, and she hasn't been to New Orleans, and she's really excited for the history aspect of it. I haven't picked because it's a long drive, so we'll have at least one overnight stay in between here and there, and there and here. But no, we're looking forward to that. And the last one on the books is back to Big Al's.
Yep, for 4th of July fun.
When we were booking and trying to figure out if we want to do something over the 4th, and we was like, well, we really liked it, and it's not that far from here. So I started doing some research. They have a huge firework display over the lake. So we're going to take our boat as well and hopefully get to see some fireworks over the lake. Hopefully the weather holds out and it's nice and sunny and warm and it's clear skies because it'll make it really beautiful.
Yeah, we really like the close trips that are within a couple hours for when we take the boat, so it makes it much easier with 2 people driving, 2 different.
Yes, yeah, it's only 90 minutes from here. So.
And then they have the boat dock, so we will put the boat in once, and it's in there for the whole week. We don't have to go in and out, which makes it really convenient, and it was priced really well.
Yes. So mentioning pricing, I've done all the RV life reviews. The Lantern Oaks was a little pricier, but I can understand why, because they had a lot of amenities.
They had a lot of staff running around too, constantly cleaning.
Yes, so that makes sense. The Big Al's is very nice and very well priced. So KOA looks like it's typical KOA pricing. So, but I have prepared, go onto our YouTube pages. I've done some longer reels where I use my 360 camera so we get that drone effect of these parks that we've talked about. So go onto that, follow, please. Facebook, and check out our YouTube pages, Instagram as well. Our Instagram fans are really coming through and doing the likes and follows. I hope you enjoy this, and look for that you tag along with us on our summer vacations, and give you some more RV reviews and tips and ideas on where to stay.
And we look forward to seeing your comments and your likes and your follows.
Yes, please. So, all right. Until our next video.